Hello, my name is Ash the Coffee Monk, and today I'm here to talk about how I managed my stress and anxiety. So, first of all, disclaimer, this video will contain topics discussing suicide and the like. It will talk about illnesses such as schizophrenia, OCD, and depression. And although these topics need to be talked about, they need to be talked about in a safe manner. So, here's your trigger warning as this topics will get very dark. Alright, moving on. It really do be like that sometimes. It really do be, and it's a struggle for all of us in life. And at some points, things do get really dark for us, but it's something we must continue on with, which I can explain here. So, who is this man? They call him 1, 3, 4. I can count. Good job. Anyway, 1 schizophrenia diagnosis, 3 psychiatric stays. I'm keeping this in. 4 suicide attempts and diagnosed with OCD, schizophrenia, and depression. What is this? What is this presentation? You're asking. Is this guy for real? I'm kidding, alright? The previous is true, but yes. Anyway, moving on. Take 2. I'm a mental health fighter. I public speak for mental illnesses. I live in Bahrain and I'm 20 years old. I overcame illnesses with the help from my doctors and friends. And I aspire to help others and give them hope, to show them that things really do get better. It's been 1 year and 7 months since my last self-harm or suicide attempt, and I'm very glad for that. And there really is hope. So, what's the meaning in it all? I went through madness-inducing levels of trauma, like the traumas I went through, like violations and everything. These things should not happen to any person. And I went on a dark path, like my skin color a little bit darker. But it was difficult for me finding hope. I sort of went extremely on dark path and whatnot, like making the wrong choices in life and giving up on myself, basically. I let go. I didn't care about myself. It was difficult to find hope. I wanted to end it all multiple times, and sometimes I even tried. But I found meaning in something that I did not even believe had meaning. Life. I didn't even believe it had a meaning. Like, it's all meaningless. I believed in that. But there was a meaning, and I realized that everybody is suffering as well. And through that, I learned that I can help others. I can help others with everything I went through. I can sort of guide them. I can share my experiences that there is hope, that things do get better. And I dedicate my life to making sure others not suffer like I have. Because there is a meaning in that as well. So, how stress affects bro, as in the Gen Z slang. So, 3 things here. Voices and delusions, part of schizophrenia. Secondly, depression. 3, overanalyzing from OCD. So, with voices and delusions, when I experience stress, I go through symptoms of depersonalization and derealization. I see things from further and closer. My vision gets distorted, and I see things in different ways, not hallucinations, but my vision gets distorted. It's extremely difficult to explain in words. So I'll explain it in other videos. And voices whisper to me in my ears. Sometimes they shout a long time ago, the classics. But no, really. I do experience voices in times of stress, and it's a sort of response, a trauma response. And delusions that someone is watching me. This one is weird for some people. They don't really get it, and I can't blame them, of course, that something like this can actually happen, but things do happen like this to people. They really do suffer like this. Next up is depression, the traditional cycle. I think we all know this. We all experience a depressive episode in our lives, but you don't want to get out of bed, you're guilty you're not getting out of bed, and you're feeling worse, and you get self-destructive, the good old days, all good. not good, but it is something that happens. That with depression, I get stressed out and then I don't want to act because I'm stressed out. And you have to sort of break through it, that sort of wall that's stopping you. But we'll talk about it. Next up is overanalyzing from OCD. So anxiety is caused by stress, and this causes thoughts to go from something possible to something extremely unlikely, like it plays into the delusions. Then my internalists sort of all interact with each other. If I get one better, all the other ones get better. If I get one bad, the other ones get worse. So yeah, and my OCD, among other things, makes me extremely susceptible to severe overthinking. Four things I do daily that help. Number one, I do my best to sleep well. Notice this. If you don't sleep well, your whole day is ruined. And it's not that easy, alright? I have insomnia, okay? At one point, I slept 3 hours in 3 days. So sleeping is not easy at times, right? But you have to wind down for bed. You have to have dim light. You have to. I put relaxing music to help the voices go away. I wind down with a hot shower. I prepare early. So there is stuff you can do. Like these things really do help. Like they're not the solution, but they can help, and that's the whole point. Secondly, is journaling. I journal about my thoughts. I journal about my fears. I try to process my emotions in a healthy way. There are workbooks you can find online about this, and in my spare time, I write about cathartic trauma releases, and I think that's been very useful for me. So next is exercise. Anything will do. And exercise can be difficult if you're mentally ill, especially because there's a barrier stopping you. But even if you just walk indoors, if need be, or just with your favorite music or podcast, it can make a massive difference. Next up, music. Music for me has been a life changer. Like music, I listen to positive, uplifting and music sometimes. Like I know depressing music sometimes feels good, like it's a guilty pleasure, but it's not really. It's something to put in the pastime, you know. Like mainly, I listen to high energy music to sort of get me pumped up, you know. Like here, I have some recommendations: "Can't Hold Us Down," "Casualty" by Mothika, and "Dirty" by Grandson and Fist for Guns from Exit the Gungeon. Next up, do I understand the struggle though? It seems like I'm just sort of like a, what do you call it, just giving advice a therapist would give. Yes, my therapist gave me this advice actually. But I went through self harm. I still have scars on my left wrist. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube without getting age restricted, but I don't want to try honestly. So yeah, I'm self-destructive tendencies. I thought I was a horrible person and I cursed myself out and told myself for the smallest mistake. I faced addictions in my life. I went to the wrong substances and thought it would help me. Spoiler alert, it did not help. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that substances actually did not help and only made things worse? Now I'm sober though, so all is good. I'll make a video about that as well. Next up, self-hatred. Why do I deserve help? I genuinely believe that there were so many other people who deserved help more than me, and I did not give myself the same courtesy I gave to others, to say the least. Feeling sick. I felt so sick mentally that I actually like physically vomited, and that was for reasons doctors could not explain. I wished for it to all be over, and it's something I'll talk about in a moment here, but I really did wish to just have my life be over. Oh no, it's gone! Okay, joke's over. Moving on. It gets better, I promise. That's the point here. Here's some more tips though. Reach out for people. Reaching out for people can be difficult, especially if you're mentally ill and you have a diagnosis and people label and whatnot. It goes both ways really, but it's easier if you open to people on levels. Like okay, first happen this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Sort of build up to it and judge the reactions. Next up, give yourself a second, third chance. Forgive yourself, treat yourself right. You deserve it. Next up, you look for stories of hope of people with similar struggles. Like my content is going to be good, but other people's content, like TED Talks, have decent stories as well, which of hope, which is good. It will be the key. Next up, do nice things for yourself. Honestly, you deserve it. Do nice things for yourself. Next up, treat yourself like you treat your loved ones. It's something very simple, but it changed how I looked at the world, honestly, for me, when my therapist told me to do that. Next up, how it gets better. So it's a process, all right? This is what they mean when they say it's a process. Up, down, 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 down. And then it goes up and up. What do I mean by this? Oh, it went up even more. Look at that. I forgot that was there. Anyway, what does this mean? This is the reality situation. When you give up on life and you decide to not do anything in it, right? This is the reality of it. You choose whether to continue or not, whether to push forward in life, whether to just give up. All right? Let's say hypothetically, don't do this, okay? Do not do this. That's the whole point. Hypothetically, you choose to end it, all right? Now, I was in your place. I understand that it literally feels like there is no other option, all right? It quite literally feels that way. For the people who are watching who don't really understand suicide, it really does feel that way. That it's the only option, but it's not even an option. That's how I get past it. I don't even see it as an option. Like, oh, I don't see any other way. Nope, that way is not even a way. I don't even consider it as an option. And that's the sort of attitude you should have towards suicide. And that's how I reached almost 2 years now without attempting or self harming. I don't even see it as an option. So, either way, there are two ways this can end: a tragedy, not an ending, it's a tragedy. Like the way your life will end, it's a tragedy. Or you live and it all gets worse because you have a trauma as well now. And I think I honestly got traumatized by my own actions of trying to attempt suicide again and again and again. So yeah, or you can choose to continue. Yeah, you can seek help. You can push forward. Either way, same thing. A chance for things to turn around, just like how it did for me. All right. Now I understand that it really does feel like it's over, maybe. And all this stuff, but oh, just meditate, or just walk, or just exercise, just eat healthy, all these things people say you can do, but it just feels like there's a sort of wall that's stopping you from connecting with other people, connecting with them. And I'll explain this in a new video I'm going to bring in as well. But for now, I just want you to know that things really do get better, and I promise you this. From someone who wished the most painful death to himself, I really do say it gets better. Alright? Okay, moving on. Alright, guys. Stay on the lookout for more videos. Keep the candle of hope alight. I want to keep that my sort of repeating phrase because I like imagine myself as a like candle because I would always stay alight and give hope and light to others and also stay bright. So the usual. Like, comment, subscribe, do one or do all. Please do all, okay? Right? And thanks to Luca Levi for inspiring this video format. It's honestly very unique, and the moment I thought of it, I'm like, I need to do this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.